Hello and welcome to Into the Light. I'm your host, Edina Mauvana, and today we have Jennifer Phillips. Jennifer has been practicing healing arts for over 13 years. She's a mother, an energy medicine expert, a sound healer, crystal therapist, published author, and intuitive guide. Jennifer's profound spiritual awakening in her late 20s solidified her path, and she's now certified by the Crystal Academy of Advanced Healing Arts and has trained at the Edina Center for Ayurveda Studies. Her mission is to provide fine-tuned healing therapies that guide others towards balance. Amazing. Thank you, Jennifer, for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. Yes, thank you so much. I was just bio, and I know we were talking a little bit about all the work you do. And it's so funny because actually, like right now, I'm obsessed on the TV with Gaia. I do know the Gaia Network, and
Yeah,
I've been
of
watching
course.
all about crystal healing,
Yeah.
and there's a whole series on that. There's a whole series on Ayurvedic medicine and how we're connected to the earth and the minerals, all of the elements. And so
Yeah.
I've just been diving into this stuff, and I feel so excited to interview you today.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, awesome. So I know you do all of these different things, energy healing, do sound baths, you do all things like related to like energy work. And I'm just curious, I know you had a spiritual awakening right in your 20s. So I was
Yeah.
curious what brought you to this path and how did you start kind of doing this work and healing people and all of that?
Yeah. Well, I truly believe that we're a channel for other people to heal themselves. So I'm
Yes.
just kind of that can initiate you and kind of show you to your own self,
Mm,
and you can open to allow healing to happen. But
mhm.
oftentimes, which I found, is that we stand in our own way. Even as someone who's been practicing in the healing arts for 15 years, I still get in my own way. And it's
Yeah.
usually because I want something that I really maybe shouldn't want.
Mm,
But anyway, so I did have an awakening in my late 20s, actually working at an elder care facility. And it was actually just across town from here. And I was caring for 5 elderly at a time. And it was a lot of work. It was 3 full days on. And I felt inspired to help the elderly,
mm,
and in a way that I don't think they had yet. And so
mm.
I turned off the TV, I put on the Native American flute, I allowed them to sink deeper into their own self. And one of the gals was 86 and she was going through dementia and just really needing to be held. And so I thought, well, what can I do? And so I just decided to just calm some of the chaos, like the commercials and the everything that's coming at them. And one of the other ladies, she was like 92 and she was blind, so she couldn't even see the TV anyway. So she's just hearing everything. And I'm like, okay, let's just change this. I put on the flute, I put on a bunch of meditation music for them. And by the end of the day, they were just so different and they just felt so good and gooey and calm, and I just loved it. And so that night I went to bed, and I'm kind of sensitive to people's energy. Like I can feel energetically when someone's trying to talk to me, like telepathically. And
Okay.
and the gal with the dementia, like I could feel her. She walked down the hallway and she's standing at the end of the hallway, not physically, but psychologically trying to get me to kind of assist her deeper. And I'm laying in bed and I could just feel it. And I just said a prayer for her. I drift off to bed and I awaken and my entire body is seizuring. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And I'm like seizuring in my sleep. And had I not practiced sound vibration and meditation, I don't know sound vibration, but it's the repetition of mantra to
Mm,
control or just to give the mind something to grab onto so that the body can merge with the mind and relax. So I was practicing sound vibration at the time, and I had been for a number of years. And the mantra that I was using at the time was Om Namah Shivaya, which means I bow to the destroyer God, the God that is actually destroys things so that you can create something new.
right.
And so I had been practicing that, and I had this seizure in my dream, and I ended up grabbing onto the sound of the Om. and my body grabbed onto the sound of the and immediately source love, golden light, unconditional light streamed through my body after grabbing onto the sound of the and it went down one side and it was euphoria. I mean, it was beautiful liquid love, and then it came up the other side. And it just did this for a couple minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was just so conscious of it. And I remember there was some guides around me, probably 10 to 12. And I could just feel their presence. And I remember them telling me, they were saying, this is always available to us, to humans. We just don't know how to access it.
Right. Tapping into it with the vibration or sound frequencies, right?
Or
That's
yeah,
amazing.
through that, and also through selfless service by actually caring about our brothers and sisters, giving them some extraordinary, a little love.
Right, right. So you were in working with the elderly patients, and were you also bringing them these different modalities of healing and sound at that time, or when did you get into that work?
Not so much at that time. I was practicing more like Kundalini yoga and just meditation. I hadn't taken any courses. I was studying Ayurveda at the library, but I hadn't gone to a school or anything. I was just doing yoga and repetition of sound.
Okay, yeah. And so obviously you had your own healing experience from that, the Om sound. So it sounds like that's what launched you into all of these different energy-based work. So who do you work with right now, and what is it that you do with the sound baths? And I know you do all kinds of cupping therapies, different techniques for like cleansing, and you also do nutrition. So it sounds like a whole holistic approach. Is that really what you focus on? Just a general well-being for your clients?
Definitely, definitely. I used to make my own medicinal mushroom tincture with medicinal mushrooms, and I would take the chaga powder and I diluted it with vodka, and then I'd pray over it with crystals, and that was actually really healing for myself and also just anyone that took it. I got into bone broth a number of years ago, and I do believe that that's super healing. They call it like liquid collagen gold. I'm sure you probably make your own.
I buy some from like an organic market. So we want to, definitely
huge.
nourish.
So I'm into nutrition for sure. And I'm always making soups, and I used to juice a lot, and I still like to juice. But then I learned from one of my friends she's a chef, and she was like, well, you actually need to eat the fruit to really get the enzymes
rather than just juicing. Yeah, the fibers
are too much sugar. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. It's like revert. Okay. But yes, I'm into nutrition. I definitely like to help people out with advice with that. I'm slowly moving into working more with young women. I do feel called there, given I have a daughter, I have nieces, my girlfriends have kids. I've helped out with all of them. And I lost my mom when I was 15 to breast cancer. So I've had to learn everything on my own, which really is essentially what got me into the healing arts.
Oh, I see.
Reading her books and going through the attic and finding all of the clues that were missing for me. So losing my mom was definitely the gateway for me to discover tools that I could grab onto, because I didn't have her hand. I didn't have a female mother, anyone guiding me.
Right. So do the crystals, I know you focus on that crystal work, and I was actually watching this on the documentary where they lay stones on the body, and each one has different properties. Can you tell me a little bit about how that works and why they have these healing qualities along with the sound, or what really is going on with that?
Absolutely. Right. Crystals that I just got. It's like a rainbow pyrite. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The colors. Yeah, it's rainbow, purple.
I just got this one, and it's got a lot of gold and copper in it. So, I mean, these elements really live on the earth. Like these
we're all made out of minerals, right? They're connected. Everything is in it.
Everything's connected. And they even say that there's stardust in here, and that there's parts of these minerals out in the stars that make up the stars. So we come from this stuff. It's not a scary thing. It's not even a mental thing. I mean, if you just look at it, I mean, how does it make you feel? Like it speaks to the person. It speaks to the person. It doesn't have to say anything. And when you lay the crystals on the body being it the third eye, the crown chakra, which connects you to source and to unconditional love, whatever your God, whoever your God is, oneness to purity. And then here's your fifth chakra, which is your voice, being able to communicate effectively with compassion or even with anger at times, if that's necessary. So that's having that channel open. So I put the crystals on the body. Here's the high heart. Here's the heart, the willpower, which is the third chakra, the second chakra, which is your passion, your desires, sexuality, and then the first chakra, which is between the legs. And it's just you can feel all the different chakras. They have like little energy tingling. And then your first chakra is connects you to the earth. So that's your root.
And then I also was hearing like each one has different stones are suited for different areas. And tell me a little bit about how it works with, like, I guess their stones and everything's emitting a certain frequency, right? So isn't the goal, like, how do they have the effect of balancing or alignment in the body to create like cure or bring positive benefit health wise?
Well, I mean, all the chakras definitely lead to all of the meridians in the body. So if you can open up the chakras and clear out what's no longer serving you, or even like enhance something that you're wanting to create, being it a vision you have for yourself or a loved one, or when you open up the chakras, granted, some things just fall out. Good things, bad things, it just falls out, and you can just, I use sage, and I just sage anything and then just bring that person back to like homeostasis and balance, and even just allowing them to clear out the gunk so that they can even understand what it is that they're wanting to create in their lives. Some people just don't even know.
Right. So are people working with you, like, do they come back, like, do it weekly, or how frequently do people need to do the work with the crystals? Because that's the other thing I heard on the documentary is it's like it's slow in some ways, the process of healing through crystal work and all of that.
The work that they've already done. Some people are so blocked up, it could take a couple of sessions before they're clear, but most people, I see immediate results. Yeah, and I do hands-on healing, so I'm doing touch, and I'm also doing sound, and the touch along with the energy of the stones. It's awesome work.
When you say, like, what kind of results are you seeing with your clients? Like, where do people come in? What do they usually have when they're starting to work with you? And then where do they get themselves after that session?
There's a lot of trauma on the planet right now. I'm sure you're well aware. So it's different for everyone. I mean, relationship trauma is huge right now, whether it be you have trauma with an ex or someone you're currently dating or a child or a family member. There's a lot of that kind of trauma that I'm dealing with, and that can take months to years to really see progress because people have to stop what they know is detrimental to them.
Totally.
And so I oftentimes will do a crystal healing session, and then I'll set up my crystals, and I actually do like a grid. And I'll put my crystals down, and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do this little grid, and it's got all of your energy in it, and I'm going to sage it, and I'm going to pray over it for 5 or 6 days, and you let me know how you feel.
Wow.
By the end of that.
And it has, and they come back happy, huh? That's
a great thing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so tell me about the book you wrote, because what's your book about, and how did you get to creating that? Yeah, do you have a copy? That's awesome.
Here's my book.
Nice.
That's
what does it say?
And then
Sovereignty and the Goddess. Yeah.
Sovereignty and the Goddess. Sorry, I'm trying to get it here.
Yeah, very nice.
I actually wrote this.
It's a big book. It's a thick book.
It's kind of big, but the writing on the inside is not like super tiny.
Yeah.
If there's pages or something, but it took me about 8 months to write, and I was deciding to just hibernate. It was the fall of 2018, and I had been thinking of writing a book for a while. And I was dating, and I had a boyfriend, and we were being cozy and sitting by the fire, and he would do his thing, and he was training to be martial arts fighter, MMA or whatever. And so he'd go to the gym and I'd sit at home and write, and we'd get back together and have protein bars and stuff. It was great. So I had a lot of time to just think and reflect on my life. I had been doing a lot of traveling. I had just gotten back from Colorado and then took a 3 week trip to Kauai where I visited a friend, and then came back and I was like, okay, I'm out of money. I guess I'll just stay in Portland. So I ended up just staying here, and I'm like, okay, I might as well write my book. I ended up writing, and a lot of it is about my travels. And then a lot of it is about my love relationships. The loss of my mother, I realized, was the main theme in my book because it had affected all areas of my life. And I hadn't known that really until I sat down and started writing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this was why I traveled. This was why I chose this person. This was why this happened with my sister. And so I realized pretty quickly on that she was the reason why I was writing, and to kind of understand how that loss had truly affected me. Because all the years that I had traveled, I was like, I'm on cloud 9, I'm just gonna sky high. And I was like, honestly, having the time of my life, but there was still like a lot of sadness there that I hadn't dealt with.
Like so running away.
I guess, like, I didn't know. I was like, yes, like tomorrow, who knows what's like. I was having the time of my life. I was sleeping under waterfalls. I was meeting amazing people. Nice. I was having a blast. Yes, there was pain there. Yes, there were challenges, but I didn't think it was really a big deal until I sat down and started writing and realized, oh my gosh, there is a lot of pain here that I haven't dealt with.
A lot to process, right? You have to, life makes you stop and process all of that stuff eventually, I think. Wow. Well, yeah, it sounds like the book is, I know a lot of people end up writing and producing things from that place of processing feelings, and it's a great outlet, and it's amazing that you got your book out and helping to empower women to do the same thing. So it sounds like it's a really personal story. It sounds like kind of a storytelling experience. I'd love to read it. I want to see the title. What's Sovereignty?
It's on Amazon. It is on Amazon, and it's Sovereignty and the Goddess, and it's under Jennifer Lynn Phillips. So you have to put the L-I-N.
L-I-N. Okay.
That's my mom's name too.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, we'll definitely put a link to your book underneath the episode. And so other than that, what else, any other final thoughts or words of wisdom you'd like to share with our audience today about the healing work you do and this important gift to the world?
What's that? The last part you said, I'm sorry.
Oh, and the important gift to the world that you have.
Oh, we all have a dark side. We all have a shadow. And I really believe that we're all working on that. And I think remember to have compassion for yourself first, because when you do, you can extend that outward, you know, and then you can also get to know yourself and realize what it is that's really calling you. We have so many demands placed on us by society, by the culture, by our families, by our friends. And once we break that down and we love ourselves and we apologize to ourselves for not meeting the deadlines, not meeting the expectations, for maybe not communicating well, or maybe upsetting someone, and you forgive yourself, then where you stand with yourself. And then from that point, and you can bloom and you can share that. But remember to have the thorns, because there's a lot of people that still take your kindness for weeks. So that's my lesson right now. And that's one that being the fixer in my family, I've had to surrender a lot and realize that my well-being is number one.
Yeah. And I feel like we all have to go through this process of learning how to come to the balance with that, learning how to, we're all, especially women, we want to fix other people. And what does that mean? And how do we end up depleting ourselves and having these come to God moments in our life or spiritual journeys that take us into this awareness? So it sounds like you've been through a lot of that, and I appreciate you sharing and having your story to tell and the work you do. So I just love that. You're in Oregon, right? Can you tell me a little bit about where you see clients and everything that's available, and where people can find you if they're interested in your work?
Yeah, absolutely. I am in Orenco Station currently. So I live in the suburbs, about an hour from the coast, 20 minutes from downtown Portland. And I do consistently work out of my home. I also put on, it's a condo. I have a healing space. And people walk in, they're like, oh my God, it smells like a spa. I just don't want to leave. But I do work at a couple of spas in the area as well. The Everett House Healing Center, I put on events there. I'll do like cacao mushroom tea ceremony, and that's really really awesome for me. I love it. Yeah, and then every now and then I just network at the Common Ground Wellness Center, which is really neat. There's a lot of wineries around here. There's a lot of different spas, and I'm just like, okay, I had the most amazing summer, and now I just need to get out there and start connecting and doing a little bit more like for events and
Yeah,
healings. I
totally.
tend to do more hands-on work, but I'm ready to kind of step into like the sound healing and the baths and the tea
Very nice.
ceremonies. Everyone wants that now because COVID is finally flushed and people are
Right.
coming indoors again with the fall and so it's
People
like
want in person. Yeah.
this year it's like finally yes I can actually share this again. Like I had to
Yeah.
stop for 3 4 years because of
Right. And
COVID.
we're seeing a lot more. I know in my town also we have a place that they've had healing, like someone's come in and done sound baths. So I feel like there's just a lot more of this that we're seeing. A lot of people are recognizing that there's alternative ways to heal our mind, body, soul, spirit, all of that stuff. So I love that. I love the work that you do. And what about social media? Or do people follow, or you have, I know we met on Facebook. Is there anywhere else
We
that
met
you
on
like to?
Facebook, I think from our
Yes,
mutual friend Rachel, who's also
right.
an amazing practitioner and healer. And I want to do an interview with us three. That'd be so fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be fun. I can set that up because we didn't get to dive into too much of the Ayurvedic stuff, but I was telling
Yeah.
you, I know before that I've been really interested in learning that massive amount of information. And
Yeah.
I know
And her
that's
and I have a mutual friend there in Northern California, Deanna. She's the one that owns the Dahayana
right.
Center. So
Right,
yeah, that was
Deanna.
the last time I got to see Rachel, and that was a few years ago. But I forgot
Amazing.
your question. What was it? I'm sorry.
Oh, how
Oh,
do people
social
follow
media,
you?
yeah.
Or yeah, do you have
Facebook,
a
I'm on
place
mostly on Facebook, and then I have my website, and I
website?
just
Yeah.
advertise through flyers and stuff.
Awesome. Okay. Well, amazing, Jenny. It was great to have you today. And
Thank
I'm
you
so
so
grateful
much.
for the work you do. And thank you for sharing and your awesome book. So I'm excited to have you. And hopefully we can set up another time to talk and maybe bring Rachel in and do that. That'd be fun.
That would be amazing. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a great day. Talk to you
You
soon.
too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.